Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings for Tuesday, January the 17th. Now we got a shorter slate for Tuesday, only 4 games today. I know I didn't make a video for Monday slate, guys. It was Martin Luther King Day. A lot of the games on Monday were during the day. They were early games, so I figured I would just kind of take the day off and didn't make any NBA content Monday, but gonna be back for Tuesday. I'll have obviously a Prize video posted later for Tuesday. I wanted to get this DFS video up the night before as well. But as always, we're gonna go game by game, give a quick breakdown of this 4-game slate. What I do like, taking a first look on Monday, when I'm making this video. Before we get started talking through each game though, if you guys do enjoy these DFS videos and if they do help you out, please hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, you haven't checked out Prize Picks yet, Prize Picks, they are the sponsor of this video. You guys can sign up for Prize Picks, use my promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. For those of you that have never heard about Prize Picks, they're a player prop site, so it's a little bit different than DraftKings and FanDuel. You're not building out a lineup, you're not competing against other players, you're just taking more or less on a player's projection. Now, right now, at the time I'm making this video, I'm recording this video on Monday, so they still have projections up for Monday's games. But you take a look at the board again on Tuesday, sometime like Tuesday afternoon, you'll see a lot of projections posted for Tuesday's games. And if there's any props that stand out to you, you just take more or less. You have to make at least 2 picks, but you can make up to 6 picks, and you can win up to 25x your money on Prize Picks. So give them a try, guys. If you haven't signed up over there, use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up. And again, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's go ahead and talk through Tuesday's little 4-game slate, and we'll start off with the first game of the night, the Raptors and the Bucks. So for the Bucks, we'll start off with Milwaukee. They're on the second night of a back-to-back. They did play on Monday. Giannis was, I think he was probable for Monday's game, and then he actually got ruled out. So Giannis did not play Monday. I'm guessing he sat out Monday so that he could play today. So I'm expecting Giannis to be back today. If Giannis is back, then obviously, that's going to lower my interest in guys like Drew and Bobby Portis and everyone else. Giannis himself, I don't love this matchup against Toronto. Toronto's a good defensive team. OG Anunoby will probably defend Giannis here. He's a really good defender. Giannis also has kind of been struggling lately. He hasn't really had many good games, but he did put up a massive triple-double against Toronto last time they played, 30, 21, and 10. Look, Giannis is a matchup-proof player. I think, he's pretty much in play any slate he's on. I would say for today, I'm not trying to jam in Giannis on this slate. I think there's other guys I'd rather spend up for. You have Jokic on this slate. You have Kyrie playing without Kevin Durant. You have Dame. You have Joel Embiid. You have Kawhi potentially playing without Paul George. So there's a lot of other guys you can pay up for today. Wouldn't say that Giannis is a priority, but obviously he's in play on a 4-game slate. Now the rest of Milwaukee, I don't really like many of these guys if Giannis plays. Like Drew at 8K, I'm not super interested in. He's fine, but when Giannis is healthy, I don't really get excited to roster Drew. Chris Middleton, we'll have to wait and see when he's going to return. He didn't play on Monday. I'm guessing he won't play today either, but I think Middleton's due to return at some point. He's been out for a month. We'll have to wait and see there. Obviously if Middleton returns, that's even that lowers my interest in really everyone even more. So I'm not super excited about many Bucks guys today if Giannis plays. Now in a scenario where Giannis remains out, then I think Drew at 8K looks really good. I think Bobby Portis at 7K looks really good. Middleton, if he plays, would maybe be viable, but there's a chance he would be on a minutes limit if he plays. But then, Brook Lopez I'd have interest in, Pat Connaughton for value, Grayson Allen for value. These guys would all become interesting if Giannis got ruled out. For now, I'm expecting Giannis to play, but we'll just have to keep an eye on it. Now, on the Toronto side, Toronto, they're a tough team to really, gauge when they're fully healthy. You know where the minutes are going, like Siakam, Van Vliet, Scotty Barnes, OG, Gary Trent. Those are going to be the guys playing all the minutes, doing most of the production for Toronto. Looking at the price tags of all these guys, none of them look that great today. It's not the best matchup against Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a really good defensive team. Siakam, I don't love the spot. The Bucks, they have really good paint defense. They're really good at rim protecting the rim, and that's Siakam's going to do a lot of his damage driving to the basket, drawing fouls, and against this Bucks team, you're just not really going to have much success doing that. And last time these teams played, Siakam really struggled, only put up 27 DK points in 40 minutes. So really not interested in Siakam here. Van Vliet, Scotty Barnes, OG, none of them look that great at their price tags. Fred Van Vliet, he was questionable for Monday's game, and he ultimately wound up playing. It's also a back-to-back for Toronto, so I guess we'll have to see if Van Vliet plays today. For now, I'm just assuming he plays again. And again, if he's in, I'm not super interested in him. Just not a ton stands out in this first game. There could be some injuries that pop up here just because both of these teams are on a back-to-back but for now, just going to assume that everyone plays, and if that's the case, don't really like much here. So let's move on to the next game, Brooklyn and San Antonio. We'll start off on the San Antonio side. So for the Spurs here, you got Keldon Johnson coming in at 7,400. Keldon Johnson, even without Devin Vassell lately, he's really not been that great, and he hasn't really shown a ton of upside for fantasy. He had that game against Detroit where he got injured, but even prior to that, like 35, 24, 32, 37, like he really hasn't been paying off this price tag. I mean, Keldon Johnson hasn't put up over 40 DraftKings points since December the 8th. Like, it's been over a month, almost a month and a half since Keldon Johnson has put up over 40 DraftKings points. I feel like he's due for like a really big game, and we know the usage is going to be there without Devin Vassell. I mean, he took 25 shots last game, so clearly the opportunity to have a good game is on the table. I'm still kind of interested in Keldon Johnson at 7,400. I think the minutes should be there if this game's competitive. The shot volume should be there, which that makes him viable on a 4-game slate. And then Trey Jones and Jakob Poeltl, I think, are both decent mid-range plays as well. Trey Jones has taken on a bigger role without Devin Vassell. We've seen him be a little bit more aggressive offensively. He's had some big scoring games lately. He's not really known for scoring, but 22 points against Memphis, 21 against Golden State, 16 last game against Sacramento. He's also been rebounding pretty well lately, been getting assists. 6,500. I mean, Trey Jones has shown the upside to pay off this price tag, so I'm kind of interested in Trey Jones here. Jakob Poeltl at 6,200, I like quite a bit. His minutes have started to really, get back up to normal. Last game played 31 against Sacramento, and I think he might have even lost some minutes because of foul trouble in that game. He might have played more than 31 minutes had he not gotten into foul trouble. If we're getting over 30 minutes from Jakob Poeltl at only 6,200, he's definitely a little bit too cheap. This is a guy that should be probably like 7K when he's playing 30-plus minutes. So Jakob Poeltl might be my favorite play on the Spurs. All these three guys, though, look pretty solid. Keldon, Trey, and then Poeltl. I do like Poeltl, my favorite, though. The rest of San Antonio, probably going to pass on these guys like Sohan and Josh Richardson. Not a ton of interest here. Richardson's going to come off the bench, play decent minutes. He's had a pretty good role without Devin Vassell. Feel like at 4,500 he's kind of priced correctly, but he's going to probably play 25, close to 30 minutes. He's only 4,500. I mean, again, the price tag feels right. We haven't seen like massive upside from Josh Richardson this season, but there's really not much value on this slate, so I think I'm fine going to Josh Richardson for value. I have a feeling he might be a little bit overowned just because there's really not much value, and he kind of looks okay at 4,500. But I think he is in play at that price tag. There's really nothing else I'm looking to on San Antonio, though. And then on the Brooklyn side, so obviously no Kevin Durant here. Without Kevin Durant, I mean, we should expect a really, really big role for Kyrie Irving. Now, Kyrie Irving, the last 2 games without Kevin Durant, he's been pretty underwhelming. 40 DraftKings points against Boston, 34 DraftKings points last game against OKC. He's been playing huge minutes. He's been taking a ton of shots. We just haven't really seen him have a big game yet. Got to think that big game is coming at some point, and no better spot than against San Antonio. I mean, San Antonio, they've been one of the worst defensive teams in the league this season. They play at a really fast pace. I know they're giving up a lot of fantasy points to point guards as well. Really, really good spot here for Kyrie Irving. I know the price tag is up to 9,900, and that feels like you're overpaying for him, but man, without Kevin Durant, like we've seen Kyrie put up 55, 60 DraftKings points when KD's out. So I like Kyrie quite a bit today. I'm thinking with his price tag coming up, that's going to keep his ownership down. So I think in tournaments he makes a lot of sense. I love the matchup, and I think obviously the usage and the shot volume we know is going to be there. Now the rest of Brooklyn, there's a couple other guys that stand out here as pretty decent plays. Nick Claxton, like the matchup quite a bit for him against San Antonio. San Antonio's given up some decent games to centers this season. Claxton had a big game against OKC last game. Obviously, really good matchup there. I think this is a really good matchup as well. So even at 7,200, I mean, this price tag feels a little bit steep for Claxton. I wish he was like 6,200, but 7,200, I think Claxton is still playable at this price tag. Not considering him a priority, though. And then Ben Simmons and Royce O'Neal as kind of like values I'm okay with. Ben Simmons, without Kevin Durant, last game that he played in, he was actually pretty productive. Now, he only played 26 minutes, but he was in foul trouble. And pretty crazy, he literally had 0 points in that game. He scored 35 DraftKings points while literally not making a basket. That's pretty impressive, I'll be honest. And we've seen Ben Simmons have those type of games where, he doesn't really score much, but he can still get rebounds. He can get assists. He can get defensive stats. He's basically like Draymond Green. Doesn't really have to go out there and score a ton to put up a big fantasy game. And obviously without Kevin Durant, you're taking a high-usage player off the floor. You're taking a good rebounder off the floor. So there's more rebound opportunities for Simmons. There's potentially more assist opportunities for him as well. Just going to have the ball in his hands more. Maybe he'll start to be aggressive on the offensive end. Maybe we'll see a big scoring game from him at some point. But I definitely think this is a good matchup for Ben Simmons. The price tag at 5,900 is not that expensive either. So I like Ben Simmons quite a bit today at this price tag. I think Royce O'Neal is okay as well. He's been pretty good the last 2 games without KD. 39, 38 draft, or 29, 38 draft points. Been playing big minutes. We know the minutes are going to be there. Not known to be a very good fantasy per minute producer, but you take Kevin Durant off the floor, and some of these guys are just going to have to produce. And Royce O'Neal has shown some triple-double upside. I mean, he almost had a triple-double last game. I think he has posted a triple-double this season. He's been rebounding well this season. He's been getting assists. 5,500. I know the price tag seems high for a guy like Royce O'Neal, but I think he is in play today. And that's probably going to be it for me from Brooklyn. T.J. Warren should take on a bigger role off the bench, but I think this price tag at 5,200 feels about right for him. Not super interested in Warren, not super interested in like Seth Curry either, but let's go ahead and move on to the next game. I think we kind of talked about everything there. So next game, Portland and Denver. We'll start off on the Denver side. So for Denver today, I don't really like much on Denver here. I think Nikola Jokic at 12K is always someone that we can consider paying up for. Is Jokic someone that I'm trying to jam in on this slate? I don't think so. This matchup against Nurkic is one that he's actually not really done that well in. Nurkic has done a pretty good job limiting Jokic so far this season, so don't think the matchup is that great for Jokic, but again, it's Jokic. I mean, this guy can put up like 70 DraftKings points any night. The 12K price tag, though, is definitely tough to get to, especially looking at this slate the night before. There's really not a ton of value. So we'll have to see like if any value opens up. If it does, always find pan up for Jokic. Right now, though, he's not really a priority for me. Jamal Murray at 7,500 feels priced about right. He's probable, so he's expected to play today. At this price tag, I'm not super interested in Jamal Murray here. The rest of Denver, Aaron Gordon, MPJ, don't love these guys either. I think MPJ, we've kind of seen him flash some upside lately. He had that 36 drafting point game against the Clippers. I'm pretty sure that game was without Jokic. But then he did put up 26 DK points against Orlando. His minutes have been somewhat consistent lately. At 5,400, I don't mind going to Michael Porter Jr. today. I think he's an okay option. Bones Highland's questionable. I don't think that makes too much of an impact, but if he does get ruled out, more minutes probably for a guy like Bruce Brown at 5,100. Bruce Brown's playable, but not a guy that I'm really in love with. So that's pretty much it for Denver. Honestly, not much to like on Denver today. And then on the Portland side, I think it's a really good spot for Damian Lillard. We've seen Denver give up some big games to point guards this season. I know they've given up a lot of fantasy points to the point guard position, and we've seen Dame have good success in this matchup as well. Last time they played Denver, he had 56 DK points. They played him again earlier this season. He had 72. Done really, really well in this matchup. 9,500, not too expensive for Dame, especially for a guy that has the upside that he does. You look at Jokic is 12K, Giannis is 11.8. We're going to talk about Embiid in a second. He's over 11K. It's tough to pay those price tags right now just with the minimal value on the slate. So I think 9,500 for Dame, I'm definitely interested in there. And then, Nurkic at 7,600. Don't love this matchup against Jokic, but Nurkic has surprisingly done pretty well against Jokic this season, and I think this is a spot where they're going to need his size out there. I don't really think they want anyone else out there against Jokic other than Nurkic. So we're probably going to get low 30s minutes from Nurkic. We know he's a guy that can produce when he's on the floor. He's a very productive per minute producer. Price tag at 7,600 feels pretty high, but I think Nurkic has the upside to pay off this price tag when he's playing, 33, 34 minutes, which I think he could get here. The rest of Portland, though, Grant, Simons, Josh Hart, probably going to pass on all these guys. I don't love their price tags. Matchups, not that great either for any of them. So that'll probably do it for Portland. I think we can go ahead and move on to the last game of the night, the Clippers and the Sixers. So we'll start off on the Clippers side. Big news to keep an eye on here is Paul George's status. Paul George got a full practice in on Monday, but he's currently questionable for Tuesday. It's unclear if he'll play for this game. So if Paul George does remain out, we know who's going to benefit. Kawhi Leonard's going to benefit. Norman Powell's going to see a boost. Terrence Mann's been playing really well lately. He'll continue to benefit. Those are going to be the guys that we probably would look to if if Paul George remains out. If Paul George comes back, then man, it's going to be tough to really get excited about mini Clippers today because Kawhi is 10,300. I really don't want to pay that price tag for Kawhi if Paul George does come back for this game. So I'm not right now. I'm not interested in a ton of Clippers today. But if Paul George does remain out, Kawhi's okay. But at 10,300, I'm not running to roster Kawhi at this price tag. I think I'd rather pay down for Dame or go to Kyrie Irving. Both those guys are cheaper in better matchups as well. Terrence Mann at 5,700, feels like a lot to pay for Terrence Mann, but he's been playing massive minutes lately. Ever since they cut Reggie Jackson out of the rotation and started, since they've been starting Terrence Mann at point guard, you look at the minutes: 35, 41, 33, and 41 minutes for Terrence Mann. And, those are in regulation. I mean, he's been playing like 40 minutes in some of these games. Now, he's not known to be a good per minute producer, but when you're playing 40 minutes a night, you can kind of just, fall into 30, 35 DraftKings points. So if Paul George remains out, I don't mind Terrence Mann at 5,700. He's got point guard and small forward eligibility, so that makes him very easy to roster. You have a lot of spots you can play him at. So I'm kind of interested in Terrence Mann if Paul George remains out. Norman Powell at 6K, not super interested in those. Zubac against Embiid. Don't love the spot for Zubac. I worry about foul trouble here, but I think they're going to need his size in this matchup. Last time they played the Sixers, Zubac did play 33 minutes. The minutes have been pretty solid for him lately. As long as he can stay out of foul trouble, I think he does play like 30 minutes here. And Zubac is a really good per minute producer. So like Zubac's viable at 5,300, but that's probably it for the Clippers. I don't really see anything else I love here. John Wall remains out, or he's still out. So obviously Terrence Mann's minutes should be secure. We will see Reggie Jackson back in the rotation, but I don't think Reggie Jackson's really going to be DFS viable. Let's talk about the Sixers now before we wrap up this video. So for the Sixers today, you got Joel Embiid at 11,300. The thing I said earlier about Jokic and Giannis, never have an issue paying up for those guys. It's just, man, you look at this slate right now, there's just not much value. It's really tough to build lineups with these guys, these star players, just because the value guys you're going to be playing, you're not going to feel very good about. I think the matchup for Embiid is really good. I know he's had a lot of success against Zubac in the past. He had a lot of success against Zubac earlier this season, put up 63 DraftKings points in 37 minutes. Embiid's been playing really, really well lately. Had 60 DraftKings points against the Lakers, 55 against Detroit, 67 against the Pelicans. Embiid's always in play here. Right now it's tough to pay up for him just with the minimal value on the slate. So I'm just going to consider him more of a secondary option. James Harden at 10K, I think at this price tag is like just a secondary option. I know he's been really productive lately. His per minute production's been great. He's put up 56 DraftKings points in like 5 straight games. 10K though, I think I'd rather go to Dame to Kyrie if I had to play someone in this price range, but don't mind Harden at 10K. I think he's still viable. But the rest of the Sixers, like Maxey and Harris, I don't love at their price tags. Maxey's been playing normal minutes. He's been getting like high 30s minutes, but with Harden dominating usage, with Embiid dominating usage like they are, it's just really hard for these other guys to do much. I mean, we haven't seen much of a ceiling from Maxey lately. His game log doesn't look that great. I know Maxey always offers upside, but not super interested in him. Same goes for Tobias Harris. Pretty much the same goes for all these other Sixers. It's really just like Harden and Embiid that I'm interested in from Philly, and that's pretty much it. So that'll do it, guys, for this little 4-game Tuesday slate. As always, I hope you guys enjoy these DFS videos. I hope they do help. If you enjoyed them, hit that like button before you do get out of here. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, like I said at the beginning, go check out PrizePicks, guys. Sign up for PrizePicks. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. Check out PrizePicks if you guys have not yet. And as always, I should have a PrizePicks video posted for today. I know I didn't make one for Monday's NBA games, but again, that was just kind of due to the games starting all during the day. It was going to be tough to make a video in the afternoon, and then literally the game would start like an hour after I'd post the video. So just decided not to post a video for Monday, but I'll definitely be back with a video for Tuesday's games. So check that video out if you guys do want to know some PrizePicks plays that I like for today. But appreciate you guys watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Best of luck on this Tuesday night slate, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.